Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of the Expansion Pack podcast, where we're going to download this week's content in gaming and bring it to you. Talk about it, give you our opinions. And yeah, thank you for joining us on this very first episode. I'll be your host for today. My name is Danzel, aka Black Ice 8. Uh, Pretty much been gaming just about all my life. Started off with a Super Nintendo back at the ripe old age of 8. I've been playing Xbox, PlayStation, PC. Just been diving into the Twitch streaming world, and yeah, we're trying something new here with a podcast. So I'll let my host go ahead and introduce themselves. We'll start off with gentleman to my right here, Manny.
What up, guys? My name is Manny, aka the one and only Goop Master Flex. I've been pretty much gaming my home life, since I guess growing up, my parents didn't really want me to go outside, so I kind of found my fun zone playing like PlayStation, Xbox, and so on. Grew up playing games like Grand Theft Auto and Mortal Kombat. Surprisingly, whooping niggas' asses, but uh, but yeah, pretty much it. I just be playing games all the time, stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah,
All
man.
right, all right. Thank you, Manny. We'll get on to our next host here, Chris.
What's good, y'all? Obviously, my government name is Chris, but I also go by May 25th. Uh, my background in gaming, shit. I am not a small person. I'm not a person who was told a lot when I was a child to go outside and play and stretch your legs and get active. You know what I did? I sat my head down and I all up in my room for a long time. And
Okay.
just became the lifestyle. I game because it's a cool escape from this hellish world that we all live in. And
Facts.
I don't know. I've always been here for sci-fi stuff and fantasy things and superheroes and all that kind of stuff. And all that stuff's pretty prevalent within the gaming world. So here for it, man. Here for it.
Okay, okay. Awesome, awesome. Well, now that you've gotten to know us a little bit better, I believe we have a little icebreaker that we're gonna get into as well. Help you guys get to know us even more. So, Manny, you want to go ahead and break that down?
Yeah. So I was thinking, since the new console generation is less than 30 days away, I feel like a good question, just ask ourselves is, what got us into this generation that we're playing now with the
God
PS4 and
damn it.
Xbox One? Like, what kind of games like rode you for this generation that was like, this is really next gen?
For this generation specifically, that's a question.
Hmm.
I guess I'll start if you guys don't mind. Um, I think this current gen, the Xbox One, or as tumultuous as a generation as it's been, the one game that I remember seeing when the system was first coming out that I was like, I need to play this. And it's probably one of the most underrated games of the generation. Most people will probably laugh at this, but Rise Son of Rome, that game looked so freaking like I remember seeing it for the first time. Microsoft press conference. This looks like next. Graphics were amazing. Like the way the world was set, it looked like 300 the game.
Mm.
I just remember playing it when it came out. It was a ton of fun. I didn't play it for very long. It definitely it's one of those games that definitely doesn't have legs. Probably played it for like a month or so, but I just remember having so much fun playing it, and I was so excited to get that. Would definitely.
Nice. I was not expecting that at all.
Hmm.
um, Me personally, when I first got my Xbox One, popping in NBA 2K14. Now, you might say, a sports game out of all the console the launch exclusives or whatever, but just the way NBA 2K14 hit with the intro, we got the music going like crazy in the background, LeBron dunking. I mean, the game looked amazing. It was just ahead of its time, honestly, like the lighting and everything like that. And sad to see that 2K kind of downgraded ever since. But like, that's what honestly just like blew my mind with this whole like graphics and the gameplay and everything like that. In my opinion.
Okay, okay.
All right, all right. I don't know. The question is a little harder for me because I didn't have the consoles on day one of launch, like neither of them. But in terms of, hmm, I guess a game that had came out within the last or this current console's life cycle, that kind of made me say, okay, I see that we're kind of like playing with a different like kind of fire here. I gotta say, it probably was Grand Theft Auto 5, I wanna say, because when that game came out, like, I hadn't played anything like that before, and I'm looking at this game, and I'm playing through it, and I'm just like, "Dog, alright, now this feels drastically different than how Grand Theft Auto was on the last gen. Wow, okay, this is okay, we in here, I see where we at. Okay, okay." So,
I know what you mean.
it's not, like, the same answer because it's hard for me to answer it in the way y'all did, but that's the answer I got, I guess.
I mean, GTA. I'm talking about Rise Son of Rome. That game didn't have many legs. Grand Theft Auto 5's got all the legs in the
Bruh.
world. That game has spanned the course of 2 console generations. Probably gonna be 3 because they're apparently upgrading it for
Yeah.
next gen.
Yep.
Yeah,
Already. Sadly, PS5, Grand Theft Auto 5 coming out.
yeah.
That's not even a slight on the older ones, but, like, you know you're playing a newer game when
Mhm.
you're playing Grand Theft Auto 5 as opposed to what it was on the older consoles. It's just like, "Whoa,
Even
I
on
can
last gen,
that's"
like Grand Theft Auto 5, was ahead of its time, and
Yeah, it kinda was. Definitely kinda was, I think, for
yeah.
sure.
Well, Rockstar, as always, freaking kills it. They set the bar for a game, sure. So coming out with something. But but yeah, moving on to the next thing that we wanted to dive into. Now that we've got the icebreaker out of the way, I believe Chris wanted to talk a little bit more about what we hope to achieve in this podcast and why we set out to do it in the first place.
So, this is 3 people who came together who have, like, a mutual passion for gaming and just everything that goes into gaming. We sit here sometimes talking about devs, we sit here sometimes talking about new graphic engines. Like we really get busy sometimes in some of these gaming talks. And for me, it's always like, I go on YouTube all the time and I watch a lot of dudes for COD, Destiny, whatever the case is. And there ain't too many podcast teams that look like us, you know what I mean? Or sound like us. You know what I mean? And I think that we just are able to hopefully come at it from another angle. Hopefully people are able to relate to us in a way that maybe they're not able to some of these other dudes. And yeah, man. Like, dude, we have so many dope discussions on headset just playing. So why the hell we not recording them?
I totally agree. And it's like,
I mean, like
we definitely gonna keep it real because I know some people get paid
all
to
the
say
way
stuff.
funky.
We're definitely gonna keep it real. Budget gaming is real. We want to make sure you guys have the best gaming experience on a budget, all that kind of stuff. Because
Oh,
broke
yo.
boys. Now let me stop.
Yeah, we're definitely
Nah,
we're
shout
definitely
out Bro
gonna
Boy.
bring you our perspectives, unfiltered, unapologetic. Because again, like Chris said, there's not really many people out there doing types of things that look like us, that have our opinions. And the couple that are out there, I will say this: I have noticed that over the course of this year, with the pandemic, with some of the social unrest, I have noticed that some more creators that look like us are definitely getting a little bit more shine. So that's definitely a good thing to see. Shout out to the Spawn on Me podcast, Leaf. That's a amazing, amazing podcast. For someone who looks like us, another person of color. And they've been getting a lot of shine in the industry. So yeah, we just want to be another voice at the table, so to speak, giving our opinions about all the different things. So with that being said, we're gonna jump into a little bit of conversation about next gen because that's kind of the theme of this podcast for obvious reasons. Like Manny had mentioned earlier, we're roughly less than 30 days away from the next generation, right? November 10th, getting the new Xbox. November 12th, we're getting the new PlayStation. So it's an exciting time. It's a fun time. Everybody's excited. My question to you guys is: were you guys able to secure a pre-order? I personally did. Thankfully, I got myself an Xbox Series X. Didn't get myself a PlayStation 5 just yet. I'm gonna wait a little bit on that. But Chris, I see you chuckling there. You know, tell us how your experience went.
Did I get a pre-order?
Oh, yeah.
So, man, woke up that morning like a kid on Christmas Day, man. I said, oh shit, fam. Pre-order day. Got ready for work. Nigga went to work, man. I was happy. I was telling people good morning. I don't even like. Hey, good morning. Morning. I'm about to pre-order. You, I don't even fuck with you, but morning. You know what I'm saying? I was. So me and my other homie, I actually converted him because he's a PlayStation loyalist. And I've been, been in his ear the last few weeks, kind of just letting him know, man, like, grass might be a little bit more greener on the other side. No pun intended, even though green is one of the Xbox colors. No pun intended. Anyways, we both ran down the hallway because we were in a meeting until around the time when they said that the pre-orders were going to go live. We ran down the hallway. I'm at my computer. I'm click, click, clack, clacking, and I'm looking for my shit. And I got so many error messages. I got so many disconnections. And then eventually, because it took too long, those error messages and disconnections soon became out of stock. Out of stock.
For the chat for my guy Chris. Oof.
They out of stock. So, no, I ain't getting no pre-order, fam.
So no Xbox, no PlayStation.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah. We not future proofed yet.
That's
They
all
ain't
right.
want to let no real niggas get that shit. That's what it was. That's what it was,
right? We're gonna work on getting you something.
We'll find a way. We'll definitely find a way. For all my boys struggling out there too. I understand.
Nah, man, they saw my IP address and was like, hell no. Hell no. And they cut my shit. I got DDoSed off my pre-order, bro.
It was just a terrible experience, honestly. I was at work as well, and honestly, my work scene was terrible. So trying to pre-order over the phone was bad enough, and then I had my sister also try to help me pre-order, and we're out here arguing, texting, "Yo, did you do this? Did you try that? Did you do that?" And she's like, "No, I did." And then she says she actually waited in line at the GameStop online pre-order, and got into the cart, and the thing took forever, and it was kept on buffering. But then, after it finished refreshing, it said out of stock. You're gonna have to get back online. And I'm like, what? So I ended up, luckily, loading up Xbox and ended up getting a Xbox Series S at first. But then later on that day, Devin was telling me, a good friend of mine.
Shout out Devin.
Shout out Devin. That Best Buy was working supposedly because another friend pre-ordered multiple consoles supposedly on Best Buy. So I went to Best Buy real quick, got me an Xbox Series X. My sister also pre-ordered another Xbox Series X. So, I ended up getting two Xbox Series X's and a Series S by mistake. And now I'm chilling with 3 consoles.
Wait, what? Hold on.
But I already sold an Xbox Series X. So that's why that's why I said I have the Xbox Series S, or else I would have sold you Series S, Chris. I'm sorry. I still had the S chilling.
Okay.
This man done had 2 in his possession and sold one. I can't even get a pre-order. Do you see where the balances lie in the universe? Come on, fam. You trying to tell me they ain't set that up?
Well, I feel bad for Felix because Felix said he pre-ordered multiple, and I guess since he pre-ordered multiple copies, they had to cancel his pre-order since he broke the rules.
Yeah, I've heard a couple stories of different people losing their pre-orders. Definitely sucks.
That's wild.
One of the big things I had heard from people who pre-order on Amazon. Well, actually, to give you a little bit more backstory on my pre-order experience, I was lucky enough to have gotten married the week prior, so I was still on my little honeymoon, so I didn't have to worry about going to work or anything. 10 o'clock Eastern time hit. I was ready to go. I was sitting in front of my computer, just waiting checking out the different websites to see where I can get my pre-order. So my original plan was to get pre-order through Amazon. The time hit. Forget about it, because Amazon, you keep refreshing the site. They're just showing you different pictures of dogs. This Fido.
Yeah, this stupid
dog.
little ugly ass dog.
Bro,
The little
you
ugly ass
understand
little
how pissed I
bulldog that they
was?
don't put on it.
I was so.
Who the hell want to see that little dumbass
mad.
dog and you try to put your pre-order in? Don't make you feel better.
Like, don't give me no error code. Like,
Oh,
everybody
dumbass
pre-ordering
dog.
the Xboxes supposedly. I've just seen people on Facebook Marketplace, selling it, and I'm like, yo, how you get it from Amazon? When I've been trying so many times, but
Yeah, it is
Time
what
and
it is.
place,
From
man.
my understanding, the Amazon and Best Buy links went up a little bit later than everybody else's.
mhm.
The last place that I ended up being the Microsoft store. I honestly didn't expect to get it directly from the source, but sure enough, 45 minutes later, sitting there clicking on the same link over and over and over and waiting for it to just buffer through, I eventually got my pre-order. Thank God, because I would have been stuck in the same boat as my guy Chris down there. That's okay. We're gonna get him a system.
I wish you knew your situation. Like, I honestly thought you got it, but then Denzel told me later that like
Nah, I tried. I like, dude, when I tell you that we ran down the hallway to try to hop on the computer, like we almost tripped over each other. That's how crazy it was. And he got his because like the Best Buy, like I said, they charged you full price for your pre-order, and he was able to do that. I was like, damn, I ain't got no money like that right now. I need them to charge me later. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I put a little something on it, but ain't got the whole thing right now. And
That's
fuck
all
yeah,
right,
game
though.
it on the budget.
We'll get it. We'll
Well,
get it for you.
I'm
No
gonna be
worries.
freezing my nuts off on November 9th in front of Best Buy with Felix apparently, and shout out Felix. And
That rabbit.
We'll let you know. Viewers will let you guys know how that works out. But I'm pretty
yeah,
confident
we
we're
might
gonna
have
get
to.
my
Yo,
guy.
deadass. If I end up out there, we might have to record that.
Nah, so
Be out
I
there.
think actually I don't know if I want to say because then the viewers are gonna be like, the let me stop.
We'll save it for
So
later. We'll save that for later.
we'll save it for
That's
later.
it. But yeah, I mean, aside from the obvious, I think we've all kind of discussed our negative experiences with this whole thing. I don't know if there's any positives. Personally, I think the only positive that came out of it for me was that I got one.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I got multiple.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I
got
know.
multiple.
For real. This man. I'm disappointed in you, Goopy.
Disappointed.
That's all right. It
What?
is what it is.
It is
I'm
what it
happy
is.
I got my Xbox now. I'm probably
Yeah, man.
gonna get myself a PlayStation next year, early next year. I'm waiting for Horizon to come out before I go ahead and grab myself a PlayStation because
Yeah.
honestly, as much as
I
Miles
can't wait.
Morales
I
looks
can't
great,
wait.
Miles Morales
I
looks great,
can't
but
wait.
I could definitely Horizon's the
I
game
can
that
wait.
I need for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny because pre-ordering my PlayStation 5, I just woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning and my friend was like, "Yo, they're live," and I was like, "They're live." I just went on, my tired ass woke up, went to BestBuy.com. Was like, "Oh, I could pre-order it." And bet.
That's crazy because the PlayStation pre-order situation was so like both of
It
them
was worse,
weren't good.
right?
Both of them weren't good. But PlayStation
Yeah.
1, in my opinion, was worse because Sony was like, okay, they're going to be available for pre-order tomorrow. And then really what ended up happening was the moment they said tomorrow, it went live. So like half the people who were planning on pre-ordering it get what they so that sucked. I mean, not that the whole
Yeah,
Microsoft pre-order went any better, even though everybody knew to be ready at 11 or 10 or wherever time it ended up being. There's got to be a better way. I think it's been discussed up, down, left, and right by just about every gaming analyst and pundit or whatever you want to call it. There's got to be a better way, for sure.
Like how GameStop did it, they attempted the line system. I know the line system for them though wasn't the greatest because they just put you in the screen. Was
Yeah,
like,
but what we
line.
found out later on, they weren't really putting you in a line. What they were doing was they had it set up where the website was automatically refreshing for you. It wasn't like you were queued in a line to say like you were number 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. That functionality, apparently, from what we've learned, doesn't exist. They just kind of kept refreshing it for you to make you think that you were in line. Which, I mean, whatever. Like, it doesn't necessarily matter. It didn't seem to create a better experience for anybody because most of the people that I talked to didn't get a system through that method. So I don't know. There's got to be a better way, and I'm sure we'll find out. I don't know. Maybe this is one of those things that never gets sorted out. 7 years from now, when we're in the next console generation, probably going to be back to square one. It'll be the same thing as it.
Yep.
It
What
is
I
what it
think
is.
they should do, honestly, is have people sign up ahead of time for the pre-order, and then they take everybody who signed up and put their name in a big ass spinning raffle wheel.
Like a
And they
lottery
just,
system.
if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. But this
Nah,
bullshit.
I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get it. I ain't.
I mean, it really is just as it's more fair, if anything. It's more fair
Mm.
because you're going based off of chance. I mean, I guess at some level, the system that's set up now is also by chance, but that lottery system is cleaner. It makes it more
A lot cleaner, yeah, for
I
sure.
think that was something that Sony tried to do. If I remember correctly, there was a way that you could sign up for, I guess, like exclusive access to being able to pre-order it, but I don't know whatever happened to that. It seemed like it just kind of fell through because I've never seen anybody discuss it, and
I
I don't know.
I feel like what happened was, yeah, you signed up for pre-order notifications, but I think if I'm not mistaken, as after that press conference ended, I think like Walmart said pre-orders are live, and that's when like everything started going crazy.
Well, what I'm talking about with that lottery system was specifically through Sony's website, not necessarily through any other retailers. So I don't know what happened to that. Apparently, you would go to like PlayStation.com, fill out whatever information you filled out, and it would be tied to your gamer tag or PlayStation ID, and they would like choose whomever at random to get a system. But that was the conversation I had heard beforehand. I don't know what ended up happening when the pre-orders actually went live. Maybe that's something we can explore later on down the road. But speaking of PlayStation, this week one of the cool things that we got to see was the new PlayStation UI. I know we all have different opinions on it and whatnot, but Manny, did you want to give us a little rundown on that?
Yeah, I mean, PlayStation UI, in my opinion, looks pretty clean. In my opinion, a lot of people were, mixed reviews, up and downs, and all that kind of stuff. But I honestly think it's, simple and right to the point. I like the new trophy card system that kind of like hints you to when you're about to get that trophy or how much longer. The party system, I liked how they had the share screen feature as well. So cool little things. You could kind of play around with that, for your PlayStation players out there. Um, Also, I like how they kind of had the little spoiler alert feature when you're trying to like share clips and stuff like that. It's pretty dope because I know sometimes you might not really realize it, but when you're looking through the social feed on especially like Xbox, somebody could record a clip or take a screenshot and end up potentially spoiling something for you in the game that like is really big. So um I think, like I said,
So
pretty
for
clean.
those who haven't actually seen the UI, you mentioned a couple different. So like the spoiler alert thing definitely sounds really cool, but the picture in picture thing, did you want to elaborate on that a little bit, like for the viewers out there who haven't actually seen it, which I would recommend going to check it out because on PlayStation's YouTube. Yeah, man,
What
you
do you
want to
mean?
elaborate on that a little bit?
What do you mean picture to picture? Like
You mentioned it, the picture in picture. You don't remember?
what picture to picture did I think? What are you talking about? Like the screenshots I was talking about, or like?
It was. I just using your words. You
Yeah,
said
'cause I was
picture in
gonna say
picture,
I
so
didn't even know that was a feature.
yeah,
So
that's
tell
why I
me
was like,
about that,
I must
maybe.
have missed
Yeah.
something, but maybe I misunderstood what you meant by picture in
Hey,
picture.
maybe it's a misunderstanding. Picture to picture, I'm still trying to figure that out myself.
Okay, well, my apologies, but yeah,
It's all good. You put me on the spot.
I mean, you said it, so hey. But anyways,
There's, um,
Chris, what did you think about the why?
I think it looks clean, man. I think aesthetically it's pleasing to the eye. It seems like they consolidated a lot of the crap that you kind of had to like dig a little deeper to find in the old UI. Kind of like how Xbox did with their recent things. You know, you can kind of press the Xbox button in the middle now and kind of get exactly where you want to get
Mhm.
quickly. So it feels like that's what they did. The only two things that I worry about is I remember when they first started talking about the PS5 features and stuff like that, and there was this one feature that there was rumored about, like the games now because of whatever the UI was doing, it was going to actually kind of give you a hint in terms of what's the best way of beating a certain part of a game or whatever. If that's baked into the UI still, and that's a thing, I'm gonna hope that there's a way to turn that shit off because I don't want that. Like I don't want a console telling me how I need to beat the level. I don't want a console telling me, oh well, if you use this weapon, there's a 99% chance that you're gonna be able to get where like I should be able to figure that out on my own as a gamer, I
I
feel. I
feel
don't
like
want
that's
the game.
gotta be. I mean, I we don't know, right? I'm sure we'll find out.
Mm.
Information with the PlayStation UI has been kind of dodgy at best right now. Very lucky to have gotten that, but I would have to imagine that something like that is you can toggle it on or off.
Yeah,
I feel like you
I'm a
can't
hope so,
force people to. That doesn't create a good user
and I
experience.
hated the way that sounded when I first heard about it. I was like, wait, what? That's why would I
Yeah,
want to handle it like that?
I
That's
think
no,
I
I'm
think
good on
it's I think having that feature holds value, for accessibility purposes, right? Like,
that.
kids playing
Yeah,
games, like, the last thing that PlayStation wants their players to feel like is frustrated when they're playing a game. So if there's a scenario where they can help them, along with a mission or something that they happen to be stuck on, I think it's a good feature. I think it makes sense to have something like that. But yeah, hope that it's not something that you're forced into. I'll be turning that off immediately. I don't want that.
yeah.
Definitely.
Nah, that's training wheels.
Yeah, I think it's also like, if I'm not mistaken, when I did see it, they did say it's exclusive to PlayStation Plus members, and I know I'm not gonna have PlayStation Plus, so
Mm.
won't be a problem for me.
Interesting.
And then they
If
also
it's
said something. What was it? Never mind. I forgot. It was a fact I was going to mention too about it, but I can't remember what the details were. Never mind.
But
Yeah.
yeah, if it's only for PlayStation Plus members, then that leads me to believe that it is something that probably can be turned off at some level, right?
Mhm.
PlayStation can turn it off. I'm assuming they should give their users. So hopefully that's a non-issue because
Yeah.
suck.
That would be true. I guess the other thing that I've been hearing is that the party system is fucked up now. Like how you send out your invites to other folks or whatever to get into new parties or whatever. I am reading has become very cumbersome for a lot of folks, and they're saying that it was something that didn't need to really get broken. It worked fine before how it was, and it's kind of one of those take one step forward, two steps back kind of thing. I haven't seen it for myself to kind of like really give it like a judge because when they did show their interface, they didn't go into that section. But if that's really a thing, that's I can already see how that's annoying too. But
So repeat that
everything
again
else
though.
looks
What?
good.
So we think it's a rumor, or do we know if it's confirmed? And what exactly is it?
Oh no. This is something that I've read that people are saying that they've experienced just like digging into it now on Reddit. So basically, how you go about sending out invites to folks to join your party is based upon the groups that you have people already put into, or some shit like that from what I was reading. So like if you have a group of friends that you play with all the time or whatever, it would behoove you to just put them into one group because then you could easily just send them invites. But then the second like somebody, I don't know, you might have a streamer or somebody who's watching your stream, I should say, and say, "Hey, you want to play a game with me or whatever?" And you say, "Yeah." Well, then now you got to create a whole nother group, add that person to the group, and then you can send them an invite to like. It's just
So it's like
extra
a chat
steps.
system kind of thing where it's like, in order to really talk to each other, you just need to start a new group chat in order to really do that.
Yeah, it's just that's weird. I don't know why they supposed to do it that way, but
Yeah, that sounds weird. I hope that's not really how it goes, and hopefully Sony can give us a little bit more clarification on all that stuff soon.
yeah.
Knowing how they typically do things, I'm sure we won't get any clarification until the system's finally out. But it is what it is.
I mean, honestly, even now with the last update on the PS4, I don't know if I'm gonna even trust the PS4 parties. The government listening.
Yeah,
Hey, listen to that. Well, let me shut
they're
up.
listening
Let me
to
shut up.
everything. They're listening to everything.
I ain't even
Yeah,
gonna start.
I'm not. I'm not.
I'm not even gonna start.
I said the
Oh,
party chats are recorded. I mean, I ain't gonna
yeah.
lie.
I
man,
mean, I think
listen.
this is my theory. I don't. What do I know? I'm some guy here sitting down talking to you guys.
Right.
But what I feel is the case is, and for those who don't know, there's a new message that pops up when you update your PlayStation 4 that tells you that Sony is recording your conversations and that there's a possibility that people in your chat could also be recording your conversations. And I think that that's just about every other consumer product in the history of anything. They own the content. They're gonna record it. Like if it comes down to it, like they're not, Sony's not sitting there actively listening to our conversations right now, right? It's being recorded somewhere in some cloud, and if it comes down to, Lil Timmy and Lil Devin were sitting there talking about, robbing a bank or doing some nefarious activity, it comes down to the FBI has to knock on Sony's door and say, hey, these people plotted this thing over PlayStation Network. Like, we need access to these files. Like, they have a subpoena, and now Sony has to play ball. That's the only reason this thing exists, right?
Big snitching. I see.
Yeah, that's just how I would be shocked, absolutely shocked, if Microsoft doesn't do the same thing. We're recording this podcast over Discord right now. I would be shocked if Discord doesn't do this.
Bro, they all do it, man.
It's just the nature of using free or public platforms. They have to be recorded. These private companies, they don't owe us anything really. Although granted, you do pay for PlayStation Plus, so I can kind of see where some people might be a little uptight about it, but at some level they're being transparent about it, and I don't think it's that big of a surprise. Like Verizon, where's my phone conversations at some level? I'm sure it sits on some cloud somewhere. They may not be actively listening to it again, but it's still there. It exists. So I don't know. I feel like this was news in a way because it popped up on everybody's screens, but this isn't really news. Like, it's not really anything that we didn't already know. It's in the back. So, that's my 2 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. If you got a microphone and a headset and you are doing anything over an internet connection, bam. Come on, man.
It's being recorded at some level.
I know.
It may not be recorded for nefarious reasons or anything, but it's definitely just, it is what it is.
I feel more violated about webcams, man. Like, I would feel more uncomfortable if they were saying, "Oh, well, if whatever you has a webcam on it, we have the right to record via your webcam whenever we want to." That would make me more uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I feel that.
I think I've just gotten used to the idea that I know that they're recording whatever we say audibly. It is what it is. Just don't say no wild shit when you're on a platform, and you be all right, fam.
Yeah, I mean, and even I don't know, like what's the threshold of saying something wild too, right? Like, as long as you're not planning like a bank robbery or something even worse, something that I wouldn't even say on this podcast.
Can't even say. I was about to say.
Yeah, I mean, why would anybody want to rob a bank and be like, "Yo, let's go on a PlayStation party and just talk about it"?
I mean, that's
dude, come on, man. People. Well, don't be on the phone. Let's go on the party chat. Don't be on the phone. That's hot. Yeah. And then they get on the party chat, and then
all different types of things. All different types. So, I'm not. I feel like that's just not a surprise to me. Like I said, I feel like Xbox probably does the same thing. Even if they may not show it to you in the same way, I'm sure that, when we all sign up for Xbox Live, right? There's this super long, what's it, EULA or whatever it's called, like end user agreement that we all have to scroll through and hit agree to. I would not be surprised if Xbox Live Parties was a little thing in there that says, "Hey, we record your conversations, reserve the right to record your conversations, whatever it ends up." I would not be surprised.
And we will snitch on you.
God.
So basically, long story short, PlayStation snitching, Xbox is snitching, Discord is snitching. Everybody's snitching. That's just how it goes.
Leave 6ix9ine alone, man. Everybody doing it.
Not him.
Leave him alone.
But yeah, moving on to since we were talking about Xbox and got our PlayStation news out of the way, but we'll talk a little bit more about Xbox. Definitely been getting a lot more press lately, in general, because of all the moves that they've been making. These last 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, where they sent out the systems to different YouTubers and influencers and whatnot. Yeah. And we're getting more and more information trickling in about that stuff. It seems like every week they seem to be allowed to talk about something different. So we started off with the backwards compatibility stuff. They went into talking a little bit more about auto HDR on those backwards compatible games. And then this week, it seems like we got our first taste of next gen games with
Yeah.
Dirt 5 and Yakuza Like a Dragon. So, what did you guys think about that? Starting off with Manny, you guys get a chance to check out that footage? What do you think about the impressions so far?
Um, I haven't really checked it out, the footage, just because Yakuza and Dirt 5 really aren't games that is my cup of tea, I guess you could say. I mean, I do like racing games, but I was never really a big fan of Dirt itself, and I never really got the chance to take a dive into Yakuza. But yeah, I mean, I heard mixed reviews. Like I heard Dirt 5 isn't like the most amazing next gen title type of thing. Um, but other than that, I haven't really heard anything about it.
Yeah, I think the thing that you know, so for example, IGN put out a couple preview videos. They seem to be less than impressed with Dirt 5 and Yakuza. Although to be fair, the initial footage that IGN put out, it was like sub 4K, which I couldn't understand why you'd want to show off like a thing the next gen thing that's in 4K. Why you'd want to like show that to your users, and I didn't understand. But eventually, I think it was Digital Foundry. They put out some footage in 4K. I thought it actually looked amazing. It's not. I wasn't personally. I'm not looking at Dirt 5 and Yakuza Like a Dragon to be, I don't know, graphical showcases. These games weren't built specifically for the next gen systems. Pretty sure Yakuza Like a Dragon is coming to PlayStation 5, and I think it had already been out on PlayStation 4 in the past or something along those lines. And I think Dirt 5 is also coming to multiple consoles as well. So
Yeah.
I'm not too surprised that it wasn't like blowing anybody away as far as graphics go. The thing that I think most people wanted to see from Dirt 5 was the 120 frames conversation. And I think a lot of people came away, with pretty mixed reviews on that. I know IGN said that they weren't too impressed. Digital Foundry said they were pretty impressed. I'm still waiting on my 120 hertz monitor, so when that comes in, I'll be able to go take a look at it myself. But as a whole, outside of those two games, everything that I've personally seen about the previews of the Xbox Series X seem to be really, really impressive. Like how it handles backwards compatible games seems to be pretty awesome. The fact that it's been doubling frame, certain games that have played at 30 frames per second and now are playing at full 60, like without anybody really having to do anything, is very impressive to me. I know that they showed off Digital Foundry. They're amazing with this type of stuff in particular, as far as frame rates and resolutions and so on. But they showed off Assassin's Creed Unity, which is a game that's like years old, maybe.
Nah, it wasn't
5 years old. It's an old game.
I think Unity was the one that came after 4.
I mean, either way, I'm not sure.
2014. That's 2014.
Man, yeah, that's 6 years ago. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that game apparently, when it first came out, it had an unlocked frame rate, but it would only really run at like 30 or lower. And Digital Foundry found a way to get a copy of the original game and run it on the Series X, and it's running at 60 frames smooth, like no issues, which is really impressive.
Yeah.
Also, the SSD, they're testing out a lot of different games. Red Dead Redemption in particular, like everybody knows about Red Dead Redemption. The game takes forever to load. They were chopping down load times by like a third. So, the hardware itself to me is very impressive. I cannot wait to get that in my play all my other games like Destiny and so on and so forth. And Chris, I know, obviously you're a big Destiny fan. You guys will find out for sure as we continue these episodes. What did you think about what you saw with Destiny 2 running on Series X?
Well, made me saltier than I already am because I couldn't secure the pre-order, But yeah, I mean, I'm a dude who I just stepped into the world of a high refresh rate monitor, and I've never really cared about that kind of stuff before. But then as soon as I did it, I saw how much of a difference it made. So then I'm looking at the Destiny situation, and I'm like, visually, just from looking at it on a TV or on like a YouTube video, I'm like, whoa. I already know that that's not what it's going to be when it's actually in my hands in front of me. It's going to be even more. Well, it's going to be like whoa times two. You know what I'm saying? And like, oh man, like that. I can't wait. But I also know it's going to make it very hard to ever go back to anything lesser than that. Absolutely. I mean, Destiny, couple other games too, but Destiny in particular because I play that more than probably anything else. I'm very, very excited for. Not only for the frames per second and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know if you've seen the most recent TWAB, but they're also giving Destiny players like the field of view slider.
Yes.
And I didn't expect them
Yes.
to get something like that on console. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, man. Like, yeah, these next gen consoles are man,
They're
like
more and more like PC. That's the thing that I think I'm very excited for, is having the flexibility to
man,
have these features like that.
bro. The field of view slider alone will make it so that way Jotun will never kill me ever again. Ever again.
Jotun. Shout out to our Destiny
Ever.
players out there. If anybody's watching, you guys know.
You use Jotun. How you sleep
Annoy
at night?
the Jotun.
Golly, man, y'all gotta get a life. Sorry, so I don't. Oh,
Oh, Chris has a personal vendetta against any Jotun user, and I'm so I'm right there with him. Use Jotun, please stop.
they gotta
Stop.
go. They gotta
You
go.
gotta
Get some help.
No love for them. But yeah, man, I'm excited for that. I'm even excited for like Ori, man. Ori's gonna get the 120 treatment.
Yep, that's
Gonna
already
be
yeah.
120. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man.
See, I know you haven't experienced 120 yet, so.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. You got a resident PC guy here, you know. I mean,
I
play PC too, but Manny, he's got himself a nice little setup, right?
That ain't nice.
2070.
You elitist now? That's what happened.
Nah, I'm more of a console gamer in the end, but like I play games like Warzone, like Valorant, stuff like that. So
games, yeah, I get it.
So it's nice.
Get it.
Yeah, and I know pretty much all of us are, you know, we play competitive shooters, right? Like we all play Warzone at some level, even though we've all kind of fallen off a little bit. You know, Chris and I play Destiny pretty heavily. Annie, you know, you said you play Valorant, you play Warzone, you know.
I want to get back to Apex, especially now it's crossplay, so we can play.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I gotta get back to Spellbreak.
Spellbreak, yeah, all those competitive games, you know, where like fast paced, they will thrive 120 frames.
Next year, definitely.
For next year, it's gonna be so crazy.
I can't wait.
Super excited. But you know, pivoting away from those type of I guess competitive shooters, you know, one of the things that I saw when they were showing off the previews was Fallout. So Fallout 4. That's another one of those games that's actually going to benefit a lot from double frame rate.
Oh yeah.
A faster SSD, you know, a better SSD period. So faster load times, all that stuff. And I'm wondering what you guys think about a next gen Fallout.
Well, we got to get the next Elder Scrolls first before we talk about.
That's where we're going.
That's fine. I'm worried about next gen Fallout.
That's where. Oh, good God. Okay. Shit. This man said where a next gen Fallout's gonna go. Okay. You go first, Manny. You go first. God damn.
Well, like I said, first I'm waiting on that Elder Scrolls, you know, the next one to come out. But Fallout, you know, obviously they have still Fallout 76, and I think they're still like running content through it. So it might be a while before we get a new Fallout, which I'm fine because, you know, I don't want them to rush like they did with Fallout 76, where they just, you know, here you go, you can spend like what $30 a month or type of thing. Not $30 a month. I'm exaggerating, but like their little service that they try to do.
Their game as a service with Fallout 76. Seems like they want to drag that on for a little bit. I hope that doesn't mean that get in the way. I know Bethesda has a couple other things that get through.
Yeah.
Like you said, Elder Scrolls 6 is still on the table. Starfield is still on the table. You don't know what that's gonna look like. So personally, I want to see another Fallout. I love Fallout.
Yeah. I
Like,
think they have
obviously, we
to
all
get
want
it
to see another
together.
one.
They have to. I think you have to kind of rectify the mess that kind of came after 76. Like if the last game in the Fallout franchise is Fallout 76, what? Like
There's no
that's
way.
terrible.
There's no
That's
way.
terrible.
No, definitely not.
That's
Especially,
terrible.
It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. You know, so
Yeah.
I think we're all waiting to see what Bethesda's doing next, and that obviously brings us to an even different topic where I know the world's been on fire about this for the last month or so since Microsoft went ahead and bought ZeniMax, aka Bethesda. Um, everybody's been talking about, are these games going to come exclusively to Xbox? So I know since it's our first episode, we never really necessarily got a chance to talk about that, and I'm sure most of our viewers have probably heard, just about everything there is to hear about this at this point. But we do have some new developments this week. So Phil Spencer, in an interview with Kotaku, kind of, addressed the situation, and it's interesting because, well, actually, you know what? Before we get into it, let me read the quote for you guys. So Phil Spencer says, "I don't want to be flippant about that. This deal was not done to take away games from another platform or player base like that. Nowhere in documentation that we put together was, how do we keep other players from playing these games? We want more people to be able to play games, not fewer people to be able to. But I'll also say in the model, I'm just answering directly the question that you had. When I think about where people are going to be playing games and the number of devices that we had, and we have xCloud, PC, and Game Pass in our console base, I don't have to go ship those games on any other platform other than the platforms we support in order to kind of make the deal work for us, whatever that means." And that's the end quote. So, to me, I feel like that kind of shuts the door on any conversation about Fallout 6, 7, 8, Elder Scrolls 6, Starfield. Like, I feel like that shuts the door on that coming to anything other than Xbox platforms. Like, that's never going to be on PlayStation again, if I'm reading that quote. But yeah, you still have people out there on the internet who are saying, well, I still think, and I feel like a lot of it is probably that these people might be in denial a bit. But, every time I hear them say that they want to reach the most amount of people possible, for some reason people think like, oh, well, that means it's going to be on PlayStation. I don't understand that. I don't know if you guys have your opinions on it or if you can help me understand why people think that, but Chris, what do you think?
How do I put this? It's like a stigma. It's weird. It's like one of those things where when you talk to like an average gamer, not like a really like hardcore gamer, but just like an average gamer, for whatever reason, their mind defaults to PlayStation. Don't know why. It just does. Whenever you have a conversation with anybody about any of this stuff, they always like consider Xbox second. And I don't know if that has to do with the fact that it physically came second in terms of creation, but yeah, the fact that the PC gaming is as big as it is today, like it's massive. And the fact that Game Pass is so accessible on so many different platforms now today. Yeah, I don't get why PlayStation does count for a good chunk, don't get me wrong, but I would argue if you add PC numbers plus one of either PlayStation or Xbox's numbers, that's got to be somewhere between like 60 and 70% of the total buy, right? Like I would assume because that's how big I think the PC numbers are. I'd have to look it up to like fact check it, but
I think they're huge. I
yeah,
agree with everything you just said. Andy, what do you think, man?
Yeah, going on with Chris, what he was saying with the PC community. Honestly, PC community is huge. This is huge for PlayStation, not PlayStation, Xbox, and the PC community. They will definitely be getting the Fallout, and of course, if you guys haven't, noticed, since Bethesda is now an Xbox studio, that game's coming to Game Pass. So that's pretty huge in that part as well. So like Bethesda games are gonna be on Game Pass, like the new Fallout or Elder Scrolls and Starfield and so on and so forth, which is huge because honestly,
I
I
still
think
can't get
Game
over
Pass
that.
is very underrated. Um, so the fact that we were able to get these like new games like for only $15 a month plus 100 more, it's honestly insane. And this might open up the PC community to try Game Pass more because obviously they have Steam and other Epic Game Store or whatever. But this is, I guess, a good leadway um if Fallout is or whatever future games that Bethesda pushes is only going to be exclusive to the Xbox store or Game Pass, then it really helps them out a lot.
Yeah, I feel like you don't drop 7.5 billion dollars to put just doesn't make personally.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like I said before, people always quote Microsoft for saying they want people to be able to anyone to be able to play their games anywhere, anywhere. I know we're talking about Xbox, we're talking about PlayStation, we're talking about PC, but what do you? What's the most popular gaming platform in the world right
Right now, I would argue it has to be PC. No,
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, PC is probably just the most
it's
popular.
the
Just
most
because
accessible
it's
out of
easy.
all of them.
Yeah, like Chris said, it's easily accessible.
we can look
A
up the
lot.
numbers, and I think we probably I should have done that, so I apologize, viewers. But I think when I say this, everybody will agree. The most popular gaming platform in the world is mobile. Period, hands down.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's your phone.
I never thought of that. I didn't
you know,
consider it.
Yeah,
I'm not a mobile gamer, so I don't think about that kind of stuff.
but either way, every
But it's
single
not,
person
yeah.
has a phone, right? Even though you say you're not a mobile gamer, right, Manny? What was it? 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we were at Felix's house and we were playing Among Us on our phones, right?
That is true.
It is the most popular gaming platform in the world, bar none. Guess where Xbox is now?
Yeah,
Game Pass
on
on your phone.
Android right now, but like,
Game
you're-
streaming on your phone, And yeah, to your point, it's only on Android right now. They're working on getting it on iPhone, working on getting it on iPad. Like, the numbers are just too big there alone. So
Yeah.
if you're on mobile, which is bigger than Xbox and PlayStation combined at this point, you're on PC, and you have your console base as well. You don't need to go to PlayStation. You just don't. There's just no
Yeah.
point, man. They want Xbox to be the best place to play, right? They don't want to give you any reason to want to look at anyone else's platform. So hey, I can get my Xbox Series X and play Starfield and be doing whatever quest it is that I'm doing, and then I have to leave, get on the train and go wherever. I just hop on my phone and start playing from there. Right? Like,
I have a question too. I would be curious to see what you guys' opinion is on this. When like how there's people out there when Last of Us came out for PlayStation, and they might not have been like a PlayStation fan, but they went out and bought a PlayStation just to be able to play that game or any other game that they might do that with. Do you guys think Bethesda has the clout at this day and age to cause that same effect in terms of the PlayStation fan base? Because like I think about a game like Skyrim, right? Say like they made a Skyrim 2. Does that cause PlayStation fans to go out there and say, you know what, I gotta buy an Xbox just to be able to play this next Elder Scrolls or something? Do you think it's that big of a deal or no?
I definitely think so. And we like Denzel said though, like we got the Project X Cloud. Like they could just literally just $15 a month with Game Pass. You just have it on your phone, be able to play. I mean, it's brilliant because like you don't have to have a Xbox or a PC. You could literally just have a phone and play these games on Game Pass, and you're good.
Yeah.
Personally, I think so we're I think a lot of people are looking at it the wrong way, where everybody's even the way you framed the question, whether you meant to or not, was go out and buy an Xbox, right? If that's the question you're asking me, I think the answer is no. They don't have to go out and buy an Xbox. The platform is Game Pass. Want to go out and buy Game Pass? If you spend that $15 a month, you could also go ahead and buy yourself an Xbox if you want to. But there's a chance that if you're a PlayStation, Yeah, right. Yeah, but like you could just use your phone, and I know the game streaming thing is it's kind of touchy. Like it's not necessarily there yet for all these for everybody. Some people don't want to necessarily play on a smaller screen like that, but even still, it's like okay, like they have something for everyone at some level. So it's like all right, I have a PlayStation, and I already have a PC, like which is a pretty common gaming scenario from what we've seen or heard about at least. So all right, I don't have to go buy an Xbox. I have my PC. I'm just gonna spend my $15 on Game Pass and play this game on PC. If I don't want to do that, I don't have a PC. Then yeah, I'll go out and buy an Xbox. Oh, maybe I'll go and buy a Xbox Series S, which is only $300. Like the value proposition on every level for what Microsoft is doing is unprecedented. You have your top end. Really, you have your super top end if you get yourself a crazy high end gaming PC. You have your top end console by getting yourself a Series X. You have a pretty entry level console with the Series S. You have your phone. Like there are just so many options, so many ways for people to dive in. It blows my mind that people are still like, oh, Microsoft has to put Elder Scrolls 6 on PlayStation. Like, no, they don't. They have created so many different ways for people to be able to consume those games, and that's probably why people like Bethesda are like, you know what, we want to be a part of this. That's probably why they were okay getting bought. Like at some level, it's an agreement, right? Like company has to agree to be purchased. So from everything that we've heard Bethesda say, obviously they're getting bought. So some of it they may be saying because they're getting bought anyways. But some of the things we've heard them say is that their vision, they share the same vision as Microsoft. Microsoft's vision, from everything that we've seen, because I'm more about action than words, everything they've done so far shows us that they want everyone to be able to play no matter who you are and how you come into their ecosystem. So if they have so many different ways for you to enter in, like it's it's crazy. It's amazing to me. I am in
It's
awe of the things that Microsoft. Oh, go ahead.
the whole discussion changes once you bring the whole phone scenario into the because neither of us were considering that at all, the whole phone gaming. But then when you say it, it's like, oh yeah, shit. It really is a big deal. And yeah, that whole argument is just like turned on its ass when you bring phones into it. That's
Yeah,
wild.
it's crazy. It's like
That's
you're
wild.
just you're factoring in markets that at this point I can't really think of anything off the top of my head, but just about everywhere people have cell phones at some level, right? But there are definitely markets where it may not be affordable to go get an Xbox, it may not be affordable to go get a PlayStation, it may not be
Yeah.
affordable to go get yourself like a high end PC or build yourself a PC or any of that. But a phone, have a phone, have an internet connection. You can be out here playing Doom, playing Halo.
Man, let me tell you something though, fam. This was gonna piss me off. And I mean piss me off. I can't be out here in COD getting killed by somebody camping in a window, and this motherfucker is somewhere in the subway just chilling on his phone and camping and still headshotting me from the window. I'm not okay with that.
That
I'm
takes
not
some
okay.
serious skill, man. You know how much latency there has to be to play a multiplayer game streaming?
I ain't giving nobody who's camping in no window no credit for no kinds of skill. Absolutely not.
Hey,
No,
man.
no. Listen, that's gonna make me feel some type of way. I'm just putting that in the air right now. That's it.
Well, that's if the connection is strong enough for somebody in the subway to playing XCloud anyways.
Shit,
'Cause,
5G networks, man.
man, 5G networks. I I don't know.
If
I
your
feel like
battery can last long enough, I guess, while you're on the network.
Have you guys actually
That's
gotten a chance to try the streaming yet?
on 5G?
Just in general, like period. Have you
I
gotten a chance to try XCloud?
I haven't tried it on
No, no, no.
iPhone at the moment, even though I do have
I
my
didn't even
Samsung
know that.
Galaxy, but I'm about to sell this iPhone, honestly.
Shit, yeah, I'll actually get it on my tablet and see how it works out for sure.
It's
But yeah,
it works in my opinion. It works a little bit better than you would expect, but it's definitely not something that you play at least in its current stage.
Yeah,
Like you said,
'cause I would
5G may
assume
change
like,
things.
the resolution has got to be like way different than like how it would be when you play,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So like,
absolutely. That's
I would
about
assume like is it a big graphical downgrade? Because that was the thing I always wondered about. If a lot of these games need a lot of frames to kind of like do what they do, and they downgrade them to be able to be ran on like a cell phone screen or a tablet screen,
so there's two
does
different
it?
things. two different things you can do. Sorry, let's catch up. Two different things you can do, right? So there's the Xbox game streaming, which like xCloud, like what we're talking about. There's also what's it called? Like remote play. You can stream from your console directly. So we all have Series X's, One X's, right?
I wish.
So
I
we
was
all
about
have
to say,
One
it must
X's.
be nice.
Yes.
We all have One X's. So if our home network can support it, we could fire up the app and it would turn on our Xbox from home, and we would basically be playing our Xbox from home on our phones, right? That's option A.
Mhm.
Option B is the xCloud stuff that we're talking about, where it's coming from a server in, I don't know, New York or wherever it is that you happen to be. That is running the equivalent of a 1S server. So yeah, the graphics aren't as good as if you're playing on a 1X or even a Series X. I think that's just where they have it for now. I think the platform is set to be scalable. So as of right now, it's running a server version of a 1S. Probably next year or 2 years from now, it'll be running like a server version of a Series S, and maybe further on down the road, it'll get to like Series X quality, so on and so forth. So it's scalable, but right now, you're right. Like it's not going to be like super high res. It's going to be 720p on your phone, not as good of graphics, but still something you can play, right? Like the situation that Phil Spencer loves to run through, because he's a big Destiny gamer, big Destiny guy, is, you're not going to sit there playing like Crucible on it necessarily. But if there's like a quest that you need to get through, or you have to go find Xur to get exotic, and it's he's only available for a certain period of time, you want to just fire it up, go get whatever it is that you need to get, and then jump out, like really quick in and out gaming sessions for while you're on the go. So it seems like that's the proposition they're laying out there right now. Obviously, when things get better and the technology gets better, it could be to the point where we're playing full-fledged games on it.
Yeah,
speeds are fast enough and all.
Yeah.
Right now, it definitely seems like more of a complementary thing, at least for people like us who have access to systems. But who knows? We'll know. We'll see where it all goes, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Exciting times.
Very, very exciting. Running a little low on time, so we may actually have to skip one of our final topics, and maybe we'll save that for next week. But did anybody else have anything else they wanted to talk about as far as Bethesda, Xbox Series X previews we've seen so far, PlayStation 5, anything?
No, I don't have anything. I think we touched on a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
Nah. You save it for the next man. Give him something to come back for, man. Nah, I ain't. You know what? That's it. The DLC is for free, but that's all you're getting this time. That's it.
Don't worry, PlayStation ain't recording our audio, so.
But Discord.
Yeah, trying to choose us for
All right. Well, viewers, we'll leave it off on this one question here, and we'll all go around the room about this. But what is your most anticipated next gen game? Danny, you want to start?
Yeah, I will say you go first.
Get that little pause. No, I have a couple. I know, like I mentioned earlier in the video, how that 2K jump, graphically wise, we did see gameplay trailers and everything like that. How it looks honestly amazing. I can't wait to fire that up. They better hit me with another intro that hit different like 2K14. Also Cyberpunk coming out November 19th, I believe. That definitely is going to be a hitter.
Don't take them all. Just pick one.
So those are my top two. You're annoying.
All right, Chris, go ahead. What you got for me, man?
Shit, next gen. I mean, clearly I'm super gassed for Destiny. We've been playing at 30 FPS for forever, and getting that 60 is gonna be a big deal. Plus the expansion in general just looks fire. Like the new exotics look crazy. They're giving us a bunch of just. It looks like it's a beefy expansion as opposed to last year, which was kind of light. So I'm very excited for that. Very excited for Cyberpunk, like my guy Goop said. I'm trying to think if I could come up with something original that I'm very excited about for next gen. Oh, Medium.
We ain't heard
I
of
Ooh.
it.
cannot wait to play this game, bro. This game, bruh. That game looks so different from anything I've ever touched before. Low key sleeper. I low key kind of wish that it was already out because it'd be a perfect game to stream for October because it has that vibe to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait to play that, man.
Yeah, man.
That looks crazy.
I'm super excited for all those games. I would say my most anticipated next gen game right now has got to be Resident Evil Village. That game looks like it's gonna be crazy. It's giving me heavy Resident Evil 4 vibes, which is definitely one of my favorite games of the time.
Yeah,
So
man.
I'm super excited for that. Obviously excited for Cyberpunk as well, just like all you guys mentioned. So we'll definitely be getting more into that as that game comes out. But yeah, for now, I think we'll cut it there. You know, you guys let us know what your most anticipated next gen game is. Hit us up in on the comments. Hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, all the above. Personally, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, pretty much everywhere as Black Ice 8. Manny, you know, you want to let people know where they can find you?
Yeah, definitely. You can find me. I try to stream on Twitch. Goopmaster Flex, of course. You can find me on social media like Twitter and Instagram as well. Don't forget to hit up my OnlyFans. It's only like $5 a month if you guys want to hit that up.
Talk, yo, plug it, bro. Pause.
So,
Pause.
It's a joke. Obviously, I don't have
I
OnlyFans.
ain't gonna tell you
I
plug
don't. I don't rock that way. But
got to a good pause.
definitely find me on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter. I try to be active on those communities. But I do stream as well. If you guys want to hit that up, definitely.
all right.
Yeah.
Chris, what you got?
Shit, man. I'm everywhere. Looking for me. Twitch, Instagram, Twitter. It's all gonna be May 25th XX. That is MAY25THXX. And that's the same shit on everything. So it's no excuse. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, I found you on Instagram, but I can't find you. It's the same shit on everything. So
I'm sure we'll
That's
have
okay.
links in the description anyway. So
Yeah,
that
man.
would
Yeah.
We'll post all our socials in the description so you guys will be able to find us. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Make sure to like we said before, comment, like, subscribe, all the above, and we'll hit you up next time for watching this podcast. Later.